Hello. Yes, we're live. Here we are. Welcome to the very first watch along and prosper. It sounded good in my head. We'll see if we use that name again, if we do more of these on the Planet Verth YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me and happy Star Trek Day, everyone. This is just a little fun Monday night watch along commentary with me and some friends for the very first broadcast episode of Star Trek back in 1966, The Man Trap. You can either watch along. If you're joining, I can see there's a few people watching now. Hello, thank you very much for coming along live. We'll all watch the episode together. Don't worry, I'll show you my guests, and then we'll have a little chat, and then we'll do a kind of hard, this is the start, and we can all start watching the episode together. Or if you are listening after or watching after, I'm going to release this as a podcast as well, as something you can watch as well. Thank you very much for being part of it. I'm very excited to see where this goes, what this is like, what happens. But it's not just going to be me every we'll say week. There may be a little gap after this, but every time I do it, I'll have some special guests or we can chat along. Hopefully it's a good mix of irreverent commentary, fun facts, and celebration as well. If you're watching for a hate watch, it's not going to be that. There's plenty more of that on the internet. This is, I want it to be very celebratory in nature. And to help me celebrate the Man Trap, I want to welcome my guests. Let me just add them to the stage. It's my colleague from the On The Time Lash Doctor Who podcast and ex of the parish of Screen Rant's dedicated Star Trek writing team, Mark Donaldson. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
And also the host of, you've probably seen it at various Fringe shows Fringe festivals or conventions, the host and the creator of Star Trek versus Star Wars, a great show, is Rik Carranza. Guys, hello and happy Star Trek Day.
Yeah, happy Star Trek Day.
Exciting, isn't it?
It's the 59th. I mean, it's not inherently significant other than I wanted to do this because this is very much starting the clock on 60 years of Star Trek.
Listen, we're Star Trek fans. We will make anything significant for Star Trek.
Yes. Significant, or the fact that nearly everyone and everything associated with it is dead. So we better get one last big celebration in whilst we still can. I think Mark and I, as Doctor Who fans, the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who back in 2023 felt like it was significant, and it was going to be the start of a brand new era of Doctor Who. And weren't we wrong?
Yeah, that went.
That's why we're here talking about Star Trek instead.
So I think we'll just, it's now the torch has passed to the fans. I mean, a Star Trek Day, I mean, looking at what I don't know, Rick, because Mark and I have been talking about this over message. I don't know if you've seen the releases to celebrate Star Trek Day. We've had the first episode of Nicholas Meyer's podcast, Khan.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that today.
Yeah,
the thing that I saw today was the announcement of Lego Star Trek, which I have been dying for, because listen, I want a set, of course I do, and if it's obviously the rumors, the Enterprise D is going to be the first set they release.
Yeah,
but what I want a Lego Star Trek game. That's what I want. Look how come on, the Lego Star Wars games, all the Lego games are amazing. I want a Lego Star Trek game. Can you imagine? It'd be so good.
Lego anything. Lego Star Trek movies. I'd like to see Star Trek Generations in Lego.
We know it works. We know animation works now in Star Trek. So let's do it.
Does it? Because the other announcement was the preschool Star Trek series that's being released as 4-minute episodes on YouTube. Star Trek Scout has been announced. Mark and I have been talking about this. Rick, you obviously. There's a degree of incredulity, like you think I'm just making this up. That is
no, I believe you, because listen, I'm a huge fan of Lower Decks, where I think it's just perfect, but I'm a huge fan of Prodigy as well. I thought it was absolutely amazing.
This is no replacement for Prodigy. Don't.
Oh no,
Star Trek Scout. As I said to So I said to
But
Mark,
if
I
it's
watched it
aimed
with
at
my
like
son.
preschool, I've got a 4-year-old. So if that's going to be his gateway into Star Trek, I am all for it.
It's nobody's
I'm not
gateway
sure
into
it
Star
would be.
Trek.
No.
It's Paw Patrol with rank insignia, is what it is. It's
No, listen, he's into Paw Patrol, so let's go.
that he's going to be immensely disappointed then. If he's a fan of Star Trek or if he's a fan of Paw Patrol, there's nothing for either of those demographics. Gareth Bowley, hello mate, and it was really nice to meet you at Hooverville there a couple of weekends. Prodigy is a beautiful show, yes it is, and it was treated abominably.
Yeah.
Absolutely abominably. But it's not about new. Who gives a fuck about new Star Trek? We're here for 60-year-old Star Trek.
You want to piss off a Star Trek fan? Make new things. We hate it.
I'd also completely forgotten as well that this is also the anniversary of the very first episode of Star Trek, the animated series. And if I'd had my fucking head screwed on for that, we could have done a double bill of the two September the 8th Star Trek episodes. Although you know, September the 8th we celebrate Star Trek Day, it was broadcast in Canada on September the 6th. That's the real birthday for Star Trek. Not a lot of people seem to want to mark it like that. American show, so what?
It's American exceptionalism all over, isn't it?
The poor Canadians just forgotten about again.
I did a bit of digging to find out why that was, because it was a CBC network, the Canadian Broadcasting Network, broadcast it on September the 6th, and it was because near the border, a lot of Canadian cities would be able to pick up American transmissions. So anything new, the Canadian broadcasters would buy up. Anything new that was going to be on American television would buy up, show it earlier on their channels, so that when the thing was broadcast on American television, people weren't prompted to switch away from Canadian broadcasting and therefore lose revenue for advertisers and sponsors. And look at American television. So that's why that happened. Sheer naked profit making. That's what it was.
Canadians and Ferengi have stuff in common.
So we'll crack on. We'll watch the episodes. Just a note on how we're watching it. Because obviously there's the original version, and then there's the late kind of the 2009 remasters. I think that's what we're watching, isn't it? That's what you guys are having a watch of.
Whatever's on Paramount Plus.
Whatever's on. Do you not find
I'm actually watching Frasier. So
do you not find Paramount Plus really glitchy? Like
really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
And the Star Trek stuff disappears, and then like for 3 days, and then comes back for no reason. Just really weird.
I like Trek Geeks, which is a fun podcast I like watching and listening to. They love referring to it as Paramount Minus. Rather than Paramount, and that's kind of just stuck with me. And you're watching? Is it Netflix? You're watching?
Yes, because when Paramount Plus was like, we're the home of Star Trek. I was like, they'll take it off Netflix. So I signed up to Paramount Plus. It's been a year late. It's been 2 years now. Still on Netflix. So what am I saying? What am I? I mean, Paramount Plus has the new stuff, but I get press screeners for that anyway. So it's fine. So I just.
Also, yo ho ho. No, didn't say that.
Yeah, so I'm watching it on DVD. So we've got all media types covered in this commentary.
Who would have thought like DVD would be the old school method? Not VHS.
It was the future, wasn't it? Back at the
There's I think people are going back to physical media now because of just the things you've described. Either things completely disappearing or ending up on other streamers or just being glitchy. And there's just also something about holding it. This is there's just something about that's the original DVD release of the original series.
From that distance, they look like animated Kirk and Spock, but no.
There's this little window.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Kirk and Spock in there. The one I'm watching I've also got this is the updated special effects ones, which is less attractive a case, but it's a little slip case thing. I just love holding the stuff.
I
in
do
my
miss like the fancy cases you used to get on like DVDs and like
Yep.
and videos as well. I remember when Jurassic Park came out, I got like 3 versions of the movie because I just bought different different boxes each time. So I had had one that looked like a fossil, and then one that came in like a giant box as well, like a giant like DNA suitcase. Because why not? Like, take my money, take my money. This stuff's cool.
Where was it I saw? Was it Mark? Was it one of the Reese brothers who shared in a WhatsApp group? The Planet of the Apes box set, which was just a fluffy ape's head.
Amazing.
It just looked like you decapitated an ape.
I can't remember if it was Dylan or if it was me responding to something else similar that Dylan had put in the chat.
Yeah.
So there was that whole period where it's like it's just a giant. No, that was it. He'd posted the Alien box set, which is just a big long alien skull.
Alien, yeah, and
it's got the DVDs in the back of the head. And then I was like, "Oh, have you seen this one?" And it was, yeah, is it Caesar? And he's got like a little pouch. It's basically head and shoulders.
Pouch with all the discs.
And there's like a little pouch at the back that has like a little book with all the DVDs in it.
Mad.
Incredible.
Or like all the Simpsons releases, which were just like the plastic heads of characters.
Yeah,
I love it.
or series 2 of Doctor Who, and that was first released. There was a special edition kind of Cyberman helmet version box set that you could get.
And it was like the cheapest plastic you could possibly get.
I mean, ugly, completely impractical, but I wouldn't change it for the world. Okay, well, without further ado then, shall we? So we'll do a kind of 3, 2, 1 play. We'll say the word play. So if anybody's watching at home and wants to watch the episode in the background with us, that is your cue to hit the button. So
before we start, can I just I wanted to kind of read out some quotes about this episode.
Do please. Yes.
From the time, okay. So Variety called this episode, said when they were talking about it, they said it was better suited to the Saturday morning kidvid block. Have they seen how horny this episode is?
Yeah, incorrect.
I mean,
Variety.
come on. William Shatner called this a dreadful show, one of our worst ever. And that's William Shatner. What does he know? But then finally, and this is one of those cases where, you know, like, and I say this as somebody who has done this himself, but, you know, when you, like, as a critic, you've already got your headline sometimes before you've even watched the thing. And then the thing will kind of convince you either way. But then you're also kind of like, I still like that title. And I'm going to just maybe shift my review to fix that. TV Guide said, the sky's not the limit for this trek, which doesn't even really work. Because, you know, you've got the sky and then you've got the stars.
Hacks, all of them. No, it's interesting.
1960s critics now.
It's interesting you bring that up. This is not. I'm going to argue that this is one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek, and it's a brilliant pilot. Now, it might be a pilot for a show we don't actually end up getting, but as a first episode for something, this has a lot of promise, and I really love it. And it's worth noting as well is that William Shatner in his book Star Trek Memories hated it, as you said. Leonard Nimoy presented a documentary called Star Trek Memories. He also said this was a pretty duff episode, and it wasn't, and it isn't, and we're going to find out as we watch why it isn't. I think it's great, and if you'll indulge me when we first start, I want to like properly wax lyrical about the first 15 seconds and how 60 years later we take it for granted. But as the first exposure to what Star Trek is, it fucking pummels information at you. And it's just glorious. So let's get ready. We're going to watch Star Trek, The Man Trap. So 3, 2, 1, play for everyone.
Here we go.
So here we go. So first 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we have? There's the Enterprise. First exposure to the Enterprise. And then it's not even Captain Kirk that we meet first, although we can hear his voice. The first crewman we see, Spock, the alien, Uhura, a black character. 2 characters that the executives surrounding the show said keep in the back, yet they are the first two characters that we see representing Star Trek on screen. We're not going to be landing the ship. This is no shuttle or landing on the surface of a planet. What was that? Matter transportation. You're immediately here in the center of a strange new world. I love the opening of this.
I love this first bit though as well, like the first bit from Kirk, because Kirk here where he's like, pick up some flowers. It's like it's just some reeds. He's a proper dick.
He
seems a
lot looser and swagger. He's got a lot more kind of swagger.
I love it.
Kirk's always got swagger, but there's something slightly looser and kind of blokey, chatty about Kirk.
He's playing this like a high school jock, isn't he? Like,
yeah.
This is before ego affects the set of Star Trek. I think this is a great show because everybody gets a moment to shine. This is a real sense of Star Trek as an ensemble, with Kirk as the kind of the protective, the commanding connective tissue between the characters. But this is a McCoy story, and William Shatner seems to be given a performance which lets other people shine on screen when it's their moment, and then he really steps up when it's his moment. I think it's very measured and very tailored.
And I think you do get a real sense that like Kirk and McCoy are mates, like right from the off.
Yeah,
like the way they are with each other. It's great.
So here we are. This is Nancy, or as we'll find out. Now I love this because as well as the crewmen seeing Nancy as they would expect to see her, there's some nifty camera work where she'll leave screen wearing one wig and emerge again wearing another wig.
This is quite funny though when she turns to Kirk and she's got grey hair. He's like, "Oh, no thanks."
If you ever wondered what influenced Leonardo DiCaprio, it was Captain Kirk. Over 26, no.
and then Darnell just makes a complete jackass of himself by going, "You, oh my God, are you that hooker from the place that I was? Because you look like that." And then keeps going and keeps going.
Yeah.
Does the boy have no training?
I love watching like the original series just for the way it's shot. I love these old 60s sort of close-ups with like the soft lens and it's just such a different time, but I love it. It's
the color as well.
Yeah.
Like it is that thing of like it's still quite a new technology. Like sort of color television. So it's like, we're going for it. We're gonna like give you as much color as you can possibly handle on screen.
Yeah, if you've bought a color television, we're going to justify you spending that money.
Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? It's like there were still people watching this in black and white when this came out, and one of the first tests, Spock had a red tinge to his skin, and they had to change it because it was coming out black on black and white television.
Yeah. Well, there was Roddenberry wanted him to appear more satanic originally.
Yeah.
So the titles are now rolling.
I do love that the title, the sort of cold open and the sort of pre-titles cliffhanger is a man following a woman off screen.
Yeah. They're setting up a mystery.
Certain aspects of 60s Star Trek, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. This is an extraordinarily horny episode. There's a real sense through this that, I mean, it's very overtly stated. Uhura at one point just says, "I am bored." And then
tell me I'm pretty.
But there seems like there is a fair bit of boredom with people, and they get through it by outrageously flirting. And the only person who doesn't do that, who snaps people back in the line, is Kirk, who, as the series progresses, it will be completely flipped and he will be the absolute horn monster. So we'll get back to it when a little later on. But obviously we're on a planet investigating ruins. Just whose are the ruins? Are they the salt vampire civilization? Or was that a civilization that lived alongside the salt vampires? Whose are these ruins?
We'll never find out.
So here's Robert Crater, played by Alfred Ryder.
He's brilliant.
He is.
Like just that kind of like slight arrogance, but also complete and utter mania. Like, I think he balances it really well.
He does. I mean, he comes in a bit strong here, which maybe if I was a visiting Starship Commander, I'd be like, what is going on?
Yes. So what are you hiding, mate? What are you?
That you're like, give us salt, but then off you go.
Yeah.
It gets more uncomfortable when they start talking about how old his wife looks in front of him whilst giving him a medical examination.
By the way, pure want to pump your wife.
I like that bit. He's all yours, plum.
Yeah.
He says to McCoy. So this is the first view of the well, not really a view, it's kind of hidden behind crater, but it's the first use of the tricorder and in a medical capacity rather than that more standard Spock science department.
But what I love as well, think about this episode. I know it's like very early on and there's a long way to go. I do think they managed to capture the characters really well in this first. Like they seem, apart from a couple of moments with Spock, where he's still getting into that sort of non-emotive state. Like Bones is pretty much there already. Like it's coming up in a second, but his mistrust of technology and sometimes using older methods is there.
Yeah.
And that continues all the way through his entire time in Star Trek. And yeah, as you say, this is pre-ego, but Shatner has got that sort of swagger and that sort of cocksure attitude that Kirk has. It's quite nice actually. It is a strong start for like all the characters in this.
Yeah, I love it. This was the part where they were just talking about just talking about how old
she's a handsome woman. She's hardly 25. It's all right, mate.
Which also has the knock-on effect of if McCoy knew her when she was 25 and this is 12 years later, what they're saying is that McCoy is about 37, which is younger than I am now.
I know.
But the guy looks infinitely older. So Alfred Ryder injured his arm before shooting began. So watch out for him. He will hold his arm quite awkwardly, his right arm, sometimes just holding it onto his body. If you
because as he's running out of the temple there, he's kind of
So first death in Star Trek,
and not a red shirt.
Darnell, played by Michael Zaslow.
Not a red shirt,
Not a red shirt. In fact, there's a couple more deaths. None of them are red shirts. Well, there's a guy who dies who's wearing like a radiation suit. We don't know what department he was part of. There's no red shirt deaths in this. But Michael Zaslow, probably better known for certainly to American. There was a soap that ran for about 56 years in America called Guiding Light, and Michael Zaslow was one of the main baddies in that. Main soap baddie, and it was a soap set in the fictional town of Springfield, which is where the Simpsons take their city name from. It's from the radio and then television American soap opera Guiding Light. And Michael Zaslow from this. Now, this character is obviously dead, but Zaslow will turn up again as another crewman in season 2 in I Mud. And there's a few more people who'll die later on who also then show up as different characters throughout the run of Star Trek.
But you can do that at this point because nobody's taking it, and it's such a kind of churn, like in terms of how they're making TV at that point. They say, we'll just bring them back. We'll just bring them back, and we'll comb their hair slightly differently. We'll put a different shirt on them. It's fine.
It's exactly what happens. There's a boy that shows up later on who dies in a blue shirt who will become a perennial red shirt death later on. So yes, that's our first death, and we didn't make a point of it, but this is the first time that McCoy, when he doesn't say he's dead, Jim, he says dead Jim when he announces. So like episode 1, we've already got a catchphrase.
But of course, this wasn't the first episode filmed, was it? This is obviously like quite a few episodes down the line, right?
Yes.
But I think that actually helps, like in terms of like the rapport and like the chemistry everybody has with each other. Like actually to show this first makes a lot of sense because everybody has kind of built up that kind of working relationship.
Yeah. Here we are.
Production
This is
order
the,
starts with Where No Man's Gone Before, isn't it? That was the first one that they
So
they shot.
this is it's often said that this is the 6th episode and it was broadcast first, but what that actually means is it was the 4th regular episode made. So discounting The Cage, the pilot, and then the other pilot Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Right.
This is the 4th episode that's made of like after the successful commissioning of Star Trek. So they didn't really have that many to go with, and this was eventually chosen because it had the least amount of special effects. There's a lot of in-camera and practical effects, but this has the least amount of special effects, and also because of the others that are in the can at that point. So the Corbomite maneuver, which is just set on the ship and is quite technically demanding. Mud, which they didn't want to launch the series on selling space prostitutes. And oh fuck, what's the other one? It is
Charlie X.
Charlie X. They didn't want to start with a kind of softer, silly. It wasn't a children's show they were making, so they didn't want to start with like a kids episode, as it were. This was the
That
one
is not a
presented
kids
itself.
episode. But
It's
yeah.
not a kids
No.
episode, but
No.
people might watch it because it is about the trials and tribulations of adolescence. So people might mistake it as a kind of young adult drama, and they didn't want that to happen. So they went with this because also it had an alien planet involved. But we missed this. This is a great scene. What I love about this is in the first couple of episodes, Spock and Uhura are counterpoints to each other in the way that Spock and McCoy would eventually become.
Yeah.
McCoy is very much your human character, and Spock is very much your alien kind of conscience for Kirk. In the first couple of episodes, Spock, the alien, the logical, cold alien, is often matched with the flirtatious, very human, very vivacious Uhura. They change that as they start pushing all these other characters into the background. But I love the fact that the initial concept is that they want the champion of humanity against the cold logic of the Vulcans is a black character, which speaks highly to that original, more pure idea of diversity that Gene Roddenberry wanted for the series.
Yeah. It takes on a new kind of life, though, once you've watched sort of Strange New Worlds and you come back to it, where it's like Uhura flirting with Spock. Because it's like, well, you've shagged everybody else in the Enterprise, mate. Like, what's wrong with me?
Strange New Worlds has set up that scene that we just saw means that everyone considers Spock to be the easy slag of the ship. And if you're just a bit bored and you're feeling a bit horny, have a crack at the Vulcan. He'll oblige.
He's the ship's shuttlecraft. Everyone's had a ride.
This is a great bit here with Kirk and McCoy sort of talking over the dead crewman, and it gets to that, and it's classic Star Trek stuff. It's like, oh, I don't really know what's going on, but then it sort of cuts to this bit of McCoy sort of wistfully remembering Nancy, and Kirk's like, listen. I've had it up to here with your wistful romanticism. A guy's died, and we've got to figure out what's going on. Get your head in the game, and he leaves.
Yeah,
that's great. That's such a great kind of Kirk moment. Obviously, in episodes to come, it's him that's kind of doing all the kind of mooning after women, and
McCoy,
and also not caring much about his crew dying as well.
Yeah, well, yeah, that too.
So this is the first proper time on the bridge. We've seen a few kind of clips and things, but this is the first time that we get like a good turnaround on the bridge. And Mark Daniels, the director, is actually one of the most prolific Star Trek directors. 14 or 15 episodes under his belt, depending on whether you consider the Menagerie as 1 episode or 2 episodes. He does a nice kind of like, it's a little lower down. It gives it height as he's shooting Spock, and you can see kind of Uhura raised there at the back. Makes it feel like you're in a, like a submarine kind of command center.
The whole chili peppers thing's weird. Where it's like, oh, Dominguez needs his chili peppers. It's you'll get his chili peppers. That sounds like such a mundane job for the Enterprise to have.
Yeah,
but I kind of like it because it kind of like just grounds it a wee bit. Like it's not all. It's like a little bit of fun. But I kind of like it.
It's that idea of it being the frontier, isn't it? It's like they're all out on the frontier. They need kind of like food supplies and things like that. This is like pre-replicators. So there is something in. Yeah, they're just transporting chili peppers because that's kind of what they need out on the frontier.
Yeah, and it means that rather than this idea of the Enterprise spending 5 years in deep space, what he seemed to suggest is that they are on their way from Earth with a cargo.
Yeah.
I was just watching. They were falling into that trap. Just like,
Yeah.
I know.
Good. This,
Say
isn't
something.
So here we are. It's a new act now, and we're into the mystery. They've discovered that salt has been completely depleted from Darnell's body. Oh, here we are. Here's 2 more sacrificial lambs. So that's Green, who's just gone out, and this is Sturgeon, who's also just gone out. So this is basically just the same again. We're back down on the planet. Now there are 2 people.
Yeah. But you get that quite a bit in classic Star Trek, don't you? It's the kind of right, we've got a beam down and then we've got a beam back up. But I think in the original, I was reading the original draft of this. Like, obviously, the salt monster the salt vampire comes up after this bit. But apparently, in the original script, it came up even later, like in the sort of final act of the episodes.
Yeah. So
and they were like, "No, you need it on board much quicker
sooner.
to kind of cause some terror."
So this is credited to George Clayton Johnson, a sci-fi writer who did a lot of work on The Twilight Zone. He's also the co-author of Logan's Run, the original novel Logan's Run, of which the film is based, and the original story for Ocean's 11. So he was a very rich man towards the end of his life when he was getting residuals of the films. But it was originally from a story by Lee Irwin, who's another writer on various episodes of classic Star Trek. But the final drafts were done by the script editor at this point, John D.F. Black, and then finally Gene Roddenberry. And they were the ones who kind of shift around the salt vampire. They're also the ones that equate the salt vampire later on to Buffalo. As in, imagine this as a creature and not an intelligent, sentient species. And I think that is to soften up the moral conundrum at the end of whether it should be killed or captured.
Because apparently that was more of a dilemma in some of the early versions of the script, wasn't it? They spent a lot more time kind of tormenting themselves over whether or not they should kill it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was interesting that they as well, because you read I Am Spock, Leonard Nimoy talks about this, like, that's the key scene when it comes up later on, where Spock is very emotive and he's the one who comes in rashly and says, kill it now, rather than trying to communicate with it. Whereas, later episodes further down the line as the characters more developed, wouldn't do that. Probably wouldn't jump in and say, just kill it.
Dylan Reese, Doctor Who 2 Up for TV. Imagine being a salt vampire is what it's like when a normal person licks the powder out of an empty packet of salt and vinegar discos. Gareth Bowley, imagine if the ship had a fish and chips night. That would have brought the monster out.
Humanely, well, I suppose, apart from the fish, but
I never really understood why when it gets onto the ship, the first place it goes is not the mess hall to just poof salt into its face. But then I would argue, and we're going to get to see it in a second, there's a debate whether is the creature just there for its own survival? And, if it was treated with understanding, would it be a bit more amenable and be capturable? But this is the actor Bruce Watson as Green. When McCoy and Kirk get a bit more strident with each other, the creature smirks. It's enjoying the panic that its prey is experiencing. There's some good subtle acting from Watson here.
As well, though, it's like it's got shape-shifting abilities. And, you don't develop those unless you're trying to either survive or mislead people,
Yeah, which it's going to do now. See, they're getting a bit more kind of, they're like smirking. Like the creature is enjoying this.
There's quite a similarity between the guy playing Green and the woman playing Nancy, and sort of like facial.
Yeah,
it's quite a smooth transition there.
Yeah, it's the easiest of the 2 transitions, or a couple of transitions that you get there. That's Bruce Watson. Bruce Watson, the cousin of June Lockhart, who is the mum Dr. Maureen Robinson in Lost in Space on TV at the same time.
Huh?
Oh.
Little tidbit for you there. I like this little bit. This is like the only time where you get a scene giving you the preparations for beaming a body back, the repatriation of a body. Like, bodies aren't just left.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like somebody's got to be notified. There's a solemn duty to perform. But that body that we saw, Sturgeon, that's John Ardent. He will be back. His first of 5 appearances in Star Trek. He'll be back for 4 more appearances as a crewman called Fields later on. So, here we are. Also, noticing this, there's a lot more people. Oh, so there we are. First appearance of Grace Lee Whitney as Janice Rand. I like how each act introduces a couple more characters for Star Trek. So, and this is going to be the focus, is the monster is going to walk about the ship and introduce us now to Rand and Sulu. After we've already met Spock and Uhura. Yeah, I'm liking the low angles on the bridge that Mark Daniels is how he's showing us.
Yeah.
You know, that talk about Paramount Plus being glitchy, I reckon I must be a good few seconds behind you guys.
Oh, really? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Bit of unfortunate 60s sexism.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Sexism.
I don't know when it happens, but I was looking at Memory Alpha, talking about sort of 60s sexism. And one of the facts they had on it was that, now I wrote it down. Here we are. A female crew member is seen wearing pants or trousers for us in the UK. Can be seen on one of the corridors. Charlie X is the last episode featuring a crewwoman wearing pants.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is only, 2 episodes later? Or is it the next episode? Actually?
It's the...
Charlie X.
Yes, the next episode, yeah. Broadcast
So
next
there you
week.
go. 2 episodes in and no more trousers for women.
So obviously, because this is the 4th episode made, the 5th, 6th, whatever you want to say, Sulu, George Takei, Sulu already knows what his job is. He's the helmsman of the Enterprise. But because these are shown out of order, we get to see, and I love this touch, we get to see Sulu and meet him at his hobby, and therefore more human than before we even know what he does on the ship. We actually don't get to see him as a helmsman until like the very last shot of the episode. In terms of introducing characters, accidentally or by design, this is great. We get to meet people as crewmen on a ship and just what their life is like before we get to see them as pure functionaries, which arguably they would become later on.
That, like, I think it's great seeing how Sulu and Rand interact with each other, like as friends. He's not like trying to lift up her skirt like everybody else on the Enterprise will be, as the episode's going to go on. They're actually just mates, and there's nothing else kind of going on there, and that's refreshing. Yeah,
which makes Flashback, the Star Trek Voyager 30th anniversary episode. I love it for the fact that they obviously have a friendship. Sulu and Rand end up on Sulu's captain commission together as. I mean, we don't really know what Rand does. I think she's like a lieutenant commander. I think there's somebody mentioned she might actually be the first officer of the Excelsior. But it makes sense if they're friends that he would get his friend at the kind of the ultimate of his career to join him on his ship. I quite like that link.
Nepotism is great.
And so here we are again. So I think it's like a horny episode, 60s. It's the most horny bit of this episode are 2 black characters interacting. It feels like such brave television for the time.
Also, this is all Roddenberry. What's coming up next with the talk is his idea.
Yeah, they're both speaking in Swahili. Do you know what he says to her?
I'd love to know.
I know.
I'll
I'm
tell
gonna
you
let Mark do this one.
when I found where I wrote
Valerie,
it.
precious, lovely to see you.
Do you want?
So apparently he says, "How are you, friends? I think." Oh God, my handwriting is shocking. I think of you, beautiful lady. You should never know loneliness. So,
Fair
okay.
enough.
That's how you pick up the ladies in Swahili.
He's credited as Uhura's crewman. It's played by a guy called Vince Howard, who was a jazz singer in the 50s.
Oh, right.
What I might do is there's a few of his records on YouTube. I'll maybe put them up on the story so you can listen to Uhura's sexy crew member.
Nice.
In the 50s, they had quite a few dance hall hit records.
Yeah.
Don't the bookend heads just at the top of McCoy's bed look a bit Ferengi-esque?
Oh, I think I'm a couple of seconds out.
I love how sorry, just to go back.
Oh,
I
and
love
yes, yeah, no, I see what
Yes,
you mean.
they do.
You
They
could
do.
stick some ears on the edge there. Yeah.
They look very like the staff of the Grand Nagus.
Yeah.
Oh, take the red pill, McCoy.
So I might just pause for a tiny second to see if I can catch up with you guys.
I like McCoy just lounging in his black t-shirt. It feels quite like, grounded, down to earth, just like he's just in his civvies. He's not wearing any kind of like space pajamas or anything like that. He's just cutting about in a tight black t-shirt.
46 when he started filming Star Trek. 46.
46.
DeForest Kelly.
Another comment. To be fair, the vampire is going to a lot of effort to steal a salt shaker instead of going to town killing people.
That
yeah.
did. I was like, why? When I was watching this again, like in preparation for this, I was like, I'd forgotten how much stalking like the vampire does. I'm like, you could just kill everyone.
Yeah. But this is the great thing because, like, story wise, it introduces us to all the other characters, and also because it is, it is the last of its kind. So there's a certain degree where it's got to walk a tightrope of savagery and self-preservation.
It is funny though, the idea that, oh no, I couldn't possibly snatch that salt cellar off the tray and just neck it. Yeah. I've got to actually creep around and kill people. That's much more inconspicuous.
But it wants to kill people is the thing. I mean,
and that's it. I think that's what it comes down to, is that it does want to, all the kind of moralizing, and that's maybe why Roddenberry cuts it all down.
Yeah,
is you're like, well, actually, it probably makes more sense for it to just be like an animal that is basically just killing. Out of, I guess, because that's what it wants to do.
I mean, talking about the Daniel Rawnsley, last of its kind, that'll never catch on. And Gareth Bowley, salt is an anagram of last. So, I mean, these are the moments that you are glad that you listened.
3 of us here and none of us thought of that.
No.
Sorry, what was I saying? It was, I mean, it's, there's a definite sense that it's a bit more manipulative to us. So sorry, so I've just seen a dead guy that Sulu and Rand have come across is Bud Albright, who was recently at Destination Blackpool. Doctor, he's 92 years old and he's still doing Star Trek conventions, but he is, after appearing a couple of times as a background artist, he's also a body double for William Shatner in a few episodes.
Right.
I've just skipped forward to see if I can catch up to you.
Okay, so it looks like we're all in different places. So I'm watching now Nancy stroking McCoy's
I'm
face.
at the horny in bed bit, as well.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah, okay. We're all horny in bed together. That's good.
with McCoy. This is exactly why we've tuned into the show.
And this is it. Like, it's absolutely just like a manipulative creature, because it's like, right, I'll put McCoy to bed.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to take on his face and then
Yeah.
I'm going to cut around the ship, and that'll get me to where I need to be.
It's been pointed out that I wonder if the enhanced special effects altered the timing. I don't know. I don't think so. It's just because I had a DVD and there's loads of little fucking ident menu skips. So I actually started when I did the 3, 2, 1 countdown. I started at 3, thinking it would be 3 seconds and then it would start in time with everyone else. But I think I've still started it early. So, like, this is the first one of these. I'll have it all down to an exact science.
We've just seen it on the screen there with McCoy. I've just seen it on the screen there. But I love it how, like, throughout Star Trek, the original series, this is the signature move of like a character thinking or a character doing something mysterious. Is the bent finger up against the ball. I love it. They've done it like a few times in this episode already, and it's just such a little thing that I love.
I quite like the little camera movement as well to get to him lying on the bed, to him doing his little thought gesture. Yeah, it's this is very well directed. I know we've already kind of
it's really good.
But it's
Mark Daniels is one of that kind of 50s, 60s Hollywood's everyman kind of director. So he started off being a director on the I Love Lucy show. And so he was at home doing single camera or multi-camera, drama, comedy, television, feature films. He's done by the time he hit Star Trek, he's done it all, which is why he's one of the most, he was one of the preferred Star Trek directors. He directed 15. Another guy, Joseph Pevney, kind of ties with him for 14. The two of these guys do the bulk of Star Trek because they are very easygoing, very economic, always bring the budget in or the production in on time. But they've also got great dramatic flair for it as well. And one of the things Mark Daniels does is, rather than allowing everyone to go back to their trailer, he set up a rehearsal table on the side of the stage so that everybody, rather than disappearing from set, would just, when they're waiting to set up the next shot, go to the rehearsal table, get the performances done over and over again, so that there's not a lot of time wasted on takes and retakes when they actually come to film. It's something that he introduced it for this, and then he also, so this scene here, just about to see, suddenly everyone's got different collars. It's something that was deleted from Where No One Has Gone Before, Where No Man Has Gone Before, and then placed in here. So briefly you see a clip of everyone with completely different uniforms on.
Oh, was this with the corridors?
Yeah,
right.
There's the
Oh,
corridors,
right.
Yeah. So Mark Daniels.
Oh, yeah, there's the lady with the trousers. There she is. One of the few ladies with trousers in 60s Star Trek.
Yeah. And when we go back to Crater, he's holding one of the original Cage phaser pistols that were originally supposed to have been the sidearm for the crew.
Right.
He gives a good performance, Robert Crater. It's he's a man who's had his wife killed and now he's living, maybe shagging a monster, but left on the planet defending an idea because the monster itself is on the ship. It's a very man at the end of his tether kind of performance. He does it incredibly well.
He's very good. Also, this has one of the... we're not there yet. I'll get to it. But obviously, they're talking about the kind of the phaser settings and all of that kind of thing. And this has the one and only time that a phaser has a kind of cowboy and western ricochet. But we'll get to that in a minute because we've got two McCoys now.
So here we are again. We're back on the bridge, and Sulu is now sitting in Uhura's station. So again, we're like, what does this guy do? We don't find out what this guy does until everyone just pitches in and helps.
It's like when Chekhov turns up and he's a navigator, he's a communications officer, he's a security officer. Yeah, he can do everything. He's a Renaissance man.
Nice bit of Shatner running on screen there. I think Mark's about to get his
oh, hang on.
Ricochet.
I'm right. I think with you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Right, it sort of speeds him up. It's got like a little, but then if you know, because I was watching this earlier, is his voice being slowed down, or is it an acting choice?
Yeah.
But they deliberately slowed it down,
Yeah.
to go, oh, he's stunned, and then if we slow the actor's voice down, that'll like communicate to the audience that the effects of the stun pistol or the fate or whatever they were calling it at that point.
So when
Which obviously they never do again.
they never do it again.
Mm.
So when I first got the VHS of this and I saw that, I thought there was something wrong with the tape. So I took it back to Forbidden Planet in Edinburgh and got a new one and watched it again. It was like, it's happening again. It hadn't occurred to me that was a production choice. So I'd taken a perfectly good version of the VHS back to the shop because I was like, there's something wrong. There's like the guy, after he's stunned, his voice sounds like he's been
But that's
stunned.
it, because they give Kirk that line, don't they? Where it's just like, you've just been stunned, you'll be okay in a minute. And then he starts speaking normally.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, is that what they've done? Is that? And then I sort of checked out and was like, oh, yeah, that is exactly what they did.
Yeah, there's a few bits that they'll not visit again, presumably because maybe the
Doesn't need it.
strangeness of it takes you out of the viewing experience.
But it is that whole gunfight between Crater and Kirk and Spock. Everybody kind of talks about, it was wagon train to the stars. It's kind of, it's Star Trek. Star Trek's a Western, but in space. And you do get elements of that. And that's, I think, the Ricochet is one of the most sort of explicit kind of like, this is what we're doing. It's like a cowboy show.
Well, I mean, also the choice of what to the planet that they're visiting looks like. It's desert, it's rough grass.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be ancient ruins, but like when it's in close up like this, it just looks like boulders and rocks of any kind of pass.
And that's it. Like his kind of Crater's house, lab, whatever it is, it is very much that kind of like Wild West dwelling where it's like everything's just a bit tatty and dusty.
Yeah, and you get it again with Mudd's women when they visit the planet of the three kind of three prospectors. That is the most obvious. This is the Wild West kind of looking, like even the way that they're dressed, it's all kind of like battered old jeans and tan hides and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the colors.
Yeah,
of everything.
I love the colors in 60s Star Trek. And I like how DeForest Kelly's playing this kind of unreal McCoy, if we'll call him that. Like he is quite shifty, and he is quite and he's unsure of himself in a way that you never really see Bones in the show. So like there's like subtle little acting choices to kind of be like, right, okay, well, I'm not playing me, I'm playing a monster pretending to be me and trying to avoid detection. I think he does some good work.
DeForest Kelly is in this scene is brilliant, but I think he is one of my favorite actors in Star Trek. Leonard Nimoy said of him once that if there's one person that you could rely on to completely understand their function in a scene, like immediately to be like that kind of absolute kind of cast iron character center, it was DeForest Kelly. And he's had such a varied career. I mean, not really varied. Most of the things that he's done have been either kind of police dramas or westerns. So by the time actually he hits Star Trek, this is kind of the last major kind of significant thing that he does. But he brings such a wealth of experience of television and how to really turn it on when he needs to, or how he can support other actors in a scene when he needs to.
Was he a bit like the kind of Star Trek's Patrick Troughton in the sense that he's the kind of lead one of the sort of main actors who'd kind of actually kind of come up through television. So he'd done a bit of theater, but actually kind of got in on the ground level with TV and so was therefore quite familiar with it when certain actors on the cast maybe hadn't done telly before, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he makes his first telly in the late 40s.
Right.
And then through the 50s, he does he's in a lot of films. Like Westerns were some of the easiest films to make. All you need is horses and then you go outside.
Yeah.
And he was regularly, but within that genre, he plays a lot. He plays heroes, he plays baddies, he plays leads, he plays supporting parts. So, like, as you can see here, he understands how to give a close-up.
Yeah. You're making me kind of want to go, and I love doing this every now and again, like doing a deep dive into somebody's like pre-Doctor Who or pre-Star Trek career. And I've never done it with DeForest Kelley, but I kind of getting the urge to do that now.
My dad loved Westerns, or still does love Westerns. And we're watching Star Trek, and then he'll be watching like any number of different Westerns. You'll see DeForest Kelley show up. And also after Star Trek, he kind of goes into semi-retirement, and the last maybe decade of his career is just Star Trek movies. Like the only thing, he'll come out of retirement, do Star Trek 5, maybe not worth his while, but like
DeForest Kelley in Star Trek 5 got one of the best scenes. The bit of his father, like that is
it is,
yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
I would argue that Star Trek 5 does not deserve the shit that it gets.
Right,
I like Star Trek 5.
I'll argue that with you.
I describe Star Trek 5 as that is the Star Trek movie they would have made if they'd gone straight on from series 3 of the original series. Like it's good and it's bad.
But isn't that why Gene Roddenberry tried to sue William Shatner?
Yeah,
because it was exactly the type of film that he would have.
And every now and again, he'll just declare, or he used to just declare something wasn't canon.
Yeah.
Like even aspects of within the television show
that he signed off on. And yeah.
Now, the logical problem we have here is that Spock is in sickbay. He's been attacked by the monster, and the monster's been put off by Spock's blood. But of course, the planet M113 is not a human planet. So what is it that's so different about Vulcan blood that whoever, presumably the beings that lived on this planet, were physically like humanity?
Spock's blood is I don't know anything about biology, but he's half human, right? So
half human, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there might be some salt in there, surely.
Yeah. Okay, so we're getting into this is the kind of the last big scene. Yeah. Everything is about to happen now in McCoy's bedroom. For such a horny episode, it feels fitting. It's in a bedroom that the denouncement comes. Sorry, Gareth Burley. Star Trek 5 rocks.
It does.
Yes, it does.
We'll talk about it in a minute because I'll get on a soapbox for Star Trek 5.
And Lobstergator, Spock is a cheese and onion guy, not really ready salted. And Daniel Ronsley, DeForest Kelley was in Night of the Lepus, which is the giant killer bunny rabbit movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm watching that straight after this.
So this is where, so Kirk is very good as he's very much a commanding force, but it's not until this ending that he gets a scene to himself, which is not about facilitating somebody else. This is, and this is where we get to see the reveal of the monster, and also how it works. That it hypnotizes or somehow, begins to drain the life force. This is one of my favorites. Firstly, Spock, very emotional. Kill it now.
And then this is what I'm saying. This is the bit. It's like he's not quite got the character yet.
He's not. So he is now double fist punching Nancy, and he says, "Could Nancy take this? I mean, maybe she could. We don't know Nancy.
Could Nancy take a double? No, wait, no.
Yeah,
Could
but
Nancy
all of this apparently was cut out of the UK version of it in '69. They cut out a lot of the punching the woman in the face, which may be fair enough. I don't know.
very, very forward thinking.
in some way.
From the BBC. Yeah. So I like when you see the monster, and the design is, it looks like an incredibly sad, incredibly old, beleaguered figure, because as the last of its kind, it presumably is that. Like, it just looks, it looks like, I know it's not, but it looks like it was a mercy to kill it, because it looks so sad and at the end of its tether.
That
I mean, again,
look towards the camera. That's
again, Kelly's doing great work here.
Yeah.
It's an iconic Star Trek monster for appearing for what, less than 2 minutes?
But it's not always. Did it not always used to appear in like the end credits?
Sometimes, yeah. And it appears again in as a statue in Trelane's house in the Squire of Gothas.
Oh, right.
Oh, cute.
So here we are. We're back on the bridge. It's the end, and there finally we see Sulu doing a bit of bloody work rather than
just
doing his job rather than covering for somebody else or tending to his plant.
Pissing about in his little arboretum that he's got going on. Which is actually the arboretum scene is actually a holdover. Originally, Sulu, rather than a helmsman, was supposed to be a life sciences guy. And where no man has gone before, he's wearing a blue uniform, and he was originally kind of an astro sciences. So him taking an interest in botany, which you'd actually seen a few early episodes. He's doing a botanical survey in Shore Leave episode, is a hangover from that original character before he just becomes the helmsman.
Can I just say what I love about the end of this episode?
Yeah.
Is like, it's not like, there's ends to episodes of Star Trek where they fucking killed a bunch of aliens or like bad aliens, and they all make a joke at the end, and it's like, hey, we're done. But there's like there is a proper kind of meditative, like Kirk's thinking about the water buffalo, and McCoy's kind of like devastated because he's lost like the love of his life. But there's like a little bit of hope there. There's like, because he's got his two friends. I love that. Like, I love that as a kind of ending to the first episode of Star Trek,
Yeah.
It shows it's not the kind of like the good guys have won. Hooray. It's like the good guys have won.
At what cost? Yeah. It's got all the elements of what will make Star Trek great. Like, is the moral quandary. Like, you've killed the last of its kind in self-defense. But
there's Lobster Gear is just a great point. It falls to the doctor of the ship to kill something. There's a lot of big character moments that, again, maybe are not necessarily seen again, and events which do not have maybe a lasting impact on the characters, but purely within this 48 minutes, it's incredibly well done. We obviously we're finished now. The credits have rolled. Before we do, one of the there was a few people who were uncredited, and the number one person that I want to give a credit to is the person who played the salt vampire, Sandra Lee Gimple, who who's a stunt woman and director. And she was originally cast because she was one of the stunt Telosians in the cage. And she was great at action scenes, but also having a big fucking head on. So that's why the actor asked her back to be. But she's had such a varied career as a main stunt coordinator for Towering Inferno, Escape from New York, Con Air, The Lost Boys, The Truman Show, The Rock, and most recently that weird Al Yankovic film that Daniel Radcliffe was in. That's one of her most recent credits. She's still going in Hollywood. So Sandra Lee Gimple as the salt vampire. There's a great bit. Have a Google, or maybe even I'll share it on YouTube and on Instagram of her with the hat off.
My word, I'm actually on IMDb right now to check it out, but oh my word, like it goes. Yeah, okay,
Yeah, she's still going strong, and Star Trek was very much at the start of her career.
Fear the Walking Dead, Superstore. I love Superstore. There you go.
She also did stunts for Seinfeld as well.
Wow.
I think she had to pretend to be George Costanza falling over a couple of times. Is my understanding of what she did.
The Amazing Spider-Man. Like, this is insane.
Yeah,
Like,
she's one of the most prolific stunt performers and coordinators in Hollywood. So that's the end of the Man Trap. Thank you to everyone. Sorry, there's obviously a few comments here. Sorry, I wasn't able to put them all up, but thank you for being so vocal. Watching the episode, well, presumably, hopefully, watching along the episode. Thank you, Mark and Rick. We don't obviously have to go. It would be nice to kind of maybe unpack some of what we saw there and continue to celebrate. But for the episode, The Man Trap, I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, as I've seen it multiple times, it's one of my favorite of the original series. Again, as I said, it's maybe a pilot for something that we don't see more of. There's maybe a couple more episodes in this vein, and then it becomes very much kind of Kirk and Spock, and then everyone else in the background. And also with this episode, cast and has already filmed for Star Trek, but you never see James Doohan as Scotty, although there is a little voice clip lifted from another episode. But Scotty is, so we've still got to meet Scotty in another episode as well. So
kind of interesting that we are all three of us seem to be quite complimentary about the episode. Like I mean I enjoyed it. Like I think it's good. I think there's so much. I think there's a lot to like about it, but obviously, you know, Nimoy didn't like it. Kirk didn't like. Shatner didn't like it. Apparently, Gene Roddenberry's father went around the neighborhood apologizing for it afterwards. So it was not liked. I think like time has played well for this. I think like especially when you know what comes the next 59 years of content that came out from this one, I followed this one episode. I think you know, you do look back on it and go, actually, it's all the elements are there for Star Trek.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not a typical issues episode of Star Trek, and I think the issues that it does deal with are slightly fudged. What is it actually saying? Is it a commentary on what we consider to be, you know, sentient, what we should consider to be life, and how we should respect that? I would also say maybe there's elements in it which are kind of like a commentary on the loneliness of space and how we find companionship, or how in any given situation we keep moving in how we function in our job. There was a great point made, it's not my observation, it was a great point made on the Mission Log podcast, a Roddenberry podcast that does all the a commentary on all the Star Trek episodes. And there's a real sense that they're going out of their way to make this seem like space and space exploration as a job. It's, you know, we're in the 60s. It's an audience of people who've probably had some sort of military service. And a lot of that on ships or in, bases. A lot of it has just been purely getting through boredom before you hit like a point of engagement. And they're trying to do the same thing. Space is about exploration, but getting from star to star or planet to planet, there's a lot of just nothing and boredom. And they're trying to exhibit that to make it recognizable to the sorts of people who would be watching in the 60s, people who've had military service. And so, you know, there is the ideas, how do people get through? Well, if you're a woman, you just spend a lot of time being flirty. It seems, or being flirted with. You know.
Bulu and his plants. That's how you get through.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, I think I've never really, until watching it this time round, never picked up on how the loneliness, like, is. I think loneliness is the issue in the episode, really.
Yeah.
It's
for the crew of the Enterprise and the Vampire and Crater.
You know, Crater's lost his wife, and all he has left on that planet is presumably the thing that killed her.
Yeah.
Because you don't really get a full sort of explanation as to what, you know, she's dead.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, yeah, the vampire got her, right? And then so he's kind of gone, don't kill me, I'll keep giving you salt.
Yeah.
And so he keeps it alive because I guess it appears to him as his wife, and he can kind of maintain that relationship. And that's like quite a bleak thing of like the lengths you go to kind of keep hold of something that was important to you that's no longer there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, Lobstergator asks important questions about the social awkwardness associated with asking to borrow a salt shaker.
Very true. Very true.
If only Rand had gotten the hint, that entire Act 4 and 5, all those deaths just wouldn't have been necessary.
Just pass him the salt and everybody will live.
Well, I mean, that's the man trap. I think we'll maybe wrap it up for the first watch along and prosper. I'm still not sold on that name. It sounded fine when I wrote it down, and then suddenly saying it, I feel like, oh,
live?
cringe.
No, wait, live
Right.
watch along? No, that doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, maybe
These
live along and prosper. I don't know. Well, I'll
These
sort
are the
this out.
watch-alongs.
These are the. I mean, the watch along sounds like,
Yeah.
you know, like the top toy at Christmas for children. It's like just try to get hold of a watch along. The kid wants one. So I think we'll call it an end there. To everyone who watched and commented and joined in, thank you very much. I won't immediately do another one of these, but I think this was largely a success. I enjoyed doing it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching it and being part of it. So there'll definitely be a few more of these. Thank you to Mark and to Rik for being part of this. As always, happy Star Trek Day. I hope you guys enjoyed being part of it as well.
No, very much so.
And here's a little a thought experiment. If we did it again, what episodes would you like to talk about that you've got a kind of... This was fitting. It was Star Trek Day. This was natural. What else? I'm tempted...
Any out of any episode at all.
Yeah, like anything. I mean, like last week's Strange New World, that kind of thing, you know.
A Threshold.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Threshold.
No, because I'm going to go in and say yes, it is the worst, one of the worst episodes of Star Trek ever. But I also think it's one of the greatest horror episodes of Star Trek ever.
Yeah, I would watch it so that we could try and rehabilitate it. I don't want to just hate watch something.
No. I think there are some elements in that episode that are like, this is like, it's horror. It's horror, and it's really
it's that classic Star Trek thing of like the tones just are like really sort of wobbly. Like there's like a good episode in there, but it kind of goes to some very weird places.
Yes. So I tell you what, so we'll definitely do that because Threshold's 30th anniversary is coming up before the end of this year.
There you go.
Is it?
So we could watch it on the night. What about you, Mark? What are you?
What do I? Because like. It's that weird thing. It's that thing with Star Trek is that you want to either go for the big sort of high concept ones that maybe don't work and that would be like really fun to talk about, right? Or you want to go for the ones you just like, this is a great bit of telly, right? You know, like something like In the Pale Moonlight, you know? But then also, that's probably just going to be the three of us just staring at the telly going, God, isn't Avery Brooks a cracking actor? God, this is brilliant, isn't it? This is really good. So yeah, maybe something a bit more fun.
Data's Day.
Data's Day is all right. What about Take Me Out to the Hollow Suite? I have no interest in baseball, but I bloody love that episode.
So I'll tell you what, so Dylan has got a great idea. Do Shore Leave. It's the best Star Trek episodes.
Yes.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could do a double whammy because there is an animated series episode where they go back to the planet of Shore Leave.
So
we could do Shore Leave and then the animated Shore Leave.
That is good.
Gareth is saying Spock's brain. That is another one we could take a look at. He's also do the one where they all turn evil, says Daniel Ronsley. Wait, which one? But Daniel's also right as well. Justice for Star Trek 5, which automatically is good.
Because they
roll. Sorry, I'm going to get back on my soapbox right before we finish up. Star Trek 5 is a good film. It's just a bit messy, and that's all it is. But like, it has the opening bit of all the characters together on Shore Leave. I
love that. I love that.
Phenomenal. And some of the best. And around the campfire with Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. The whole movie is like the best you see those three together. like
I'd
all
agree.
their elements,
Yeah.
and the fact that they don't abandon each other in the end, like they stick together all the way through, even at moments of temptation,
Yeah.
even when they looks closer, it looks like Spock is going to turn to Cyborg, where it looks like McCoy might. No, they don't. They stick together, and it's beautiful. So
He's not
the
wrong.
only thing,
Man's not wrong.
only thing I don't like about it is just the Scotty banging in his head. I think it's just a little bit too cheap. But apart from that, love it all.
Yeah. But he does also know exactly where to jailbreak somebody. If somebody's going to jailbreak it,
Yes.
he's going to be Scotty, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand back. Stand back.
so with that, then I think we'll call it to an end. Again, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rick.
Trials and Tribulations. Let's do that. Sorry. That just popped into my head. Trials and Tribulations.
Could that.
Could do. All right. Well, I'll have a think. We'll have a think, and then
We can maybe
we'll
do
be
that
back.
next year when we're approaching the 60th, because obviously that was the
Yeah, that
30th
was the
anniversary.
yeah, that
wasn't
was
it?
the big one. That was the
Yeah.
yeah.
Do that. Do flashback.
Yeah.
Have a whole. I mean, one of the things I want to do next year is do a complete watch through of Star Trek Night on BBC Two from 1996, and just we spent the whole evening together watching
That'd be fun.
archive BBC themed nights. Do you remember that? It was phenomenal when BBC used to do themed nights of stuff.
When
Anyway, we'll call it a day.
Voyager.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I've been Ben. With me has been Mark and Rick. We'll do more of these. Hopefully, there will also be more of my podcast, Walking a Baby to Sleep and Talking About Star Trek. Sorry, there hasn't been one. I was going to release one last week, but I did it and listened back to it, and it was the worst thing that anyone has ever done, and I just could not release that into the world. So I'll have a bit of a rethink of that, but that is going to be another string to the bow. I'll put up a few more wee tidbits on Instagram, so people can see what's what of things we've kind of brought up. But yeah, thank you very much for being part of tonight, and have a wonderful Star Trek evening. Bye-bye.
Good night.